Hey, thanks for stopping by today. I'm going to quickly walk through the equipment starter package that we have on sale here at Wine Kits in Varsity. These are the same tools you use whether you're making beer, wine, cider, mead. It's all the same gear, so you don't have to worry about getting different gear if you decide to make wine or beer or change your mind halfway through. You want to make a different kit of something. So what you see in front of you here is the primary fermentation, and you'll see that it is graduated. The kit also comes with a stick-on thermometer. So what we suggest is find a 23-liter mark and stick the thermometer right there, so it's a little bit more of a visual indicator for you. You'll see we also have here on the table an auto-siphon, a bung and airlock, 5 feet of tubing, a bottle filler, a plastic spoon, a hydrometer, and a pack of chloroclean, and as well there's a glass carboy here. So your first step is to put all of your beer, wine, or cider into the primary fermentation pail up to the 23-liter mark. Add your yeast, and now you are making alcohol. What happens is the yeast eats the sugar, which produces alcohol and CO2. Once your beer or your wine sits in the primary fermentation pail for 7 to 10 to 14 days, depending on what you're making and what the conditions are in your house, the temperature, things like that, you will then siphon out of this primary fermentation pail into this glass carboy. So what you will do is you'll need to have the pail up and the glass carboy lower, maybe on the floor. That way gravity is your friend. You will then use this auto-siphon. You'll connect the hose to one end of the auto-siphon. You'll put the auto-siphon into the pail. You'll pump this 2 or 3 times, and the fluid will just flow. It'll go through your tubing here and then into your glass carboy. Once you've got all your liquid into the glass carboy, you want to fill it basically to the top line here in the glass carboy. And then you're going to take a bung and airlock. This is the new one that comes with, but I'll show you this one that's open. It's used. So it's going to sit in the top just like that. What you're going to do is pop the top off like that. Oops. You're going to fill your airlock about 3/4 of the way up with water. Some people use sterilization solution. Some people use whiskey. You can use whatever you want. And then you drop the little hat in there and put the cap back on. Now you've created a lock where the CO2 can escape and oxygen is prevented from entering and contaminating your brew. Then it will sit in the glass carboy for 7 to 10 to 14 days. Once again, you're going to then elevate your carboy and lower your pail. You will siphon everything back out again, just like you did the first time with the auto siphon and the hose. You're going to siphon everything out of the glass carboy back into the pail. So now you'll be able to start bottling. And the reason you do that is you're going to end up with some sediment on the bottom here, and you don't want that in your bottles. So once you're back into the pail, if you're bottling beer, you would put in 1 cup of sugar. That's called priming sugar, and that's what gives you the carbonation in the bottle. If you're kegging, you don't have to worry about that. If you're making wine as well, you don't have to worry about that. So then from there, you would use this auto siphon. It would connect again to the hose, but this time you're going to use this bottle filler, and you'll see there's a little plunger on the bottom there. So what's going to happen is every time you go into a bottle, that plunger disengages, allows the fluid to flow. Once you pick the bottle filler up, that plunger re-engages and stops the fluid, and then allows you to go into your next bottle and continue bottling. You can use a hydrometer a couple of points when you are creating your brew. You do it on day 1, you take a reading, and then on day 10, 11, 12, you'll take multiple readings again. If you get 3 days in a row of the same reading, then the primary fermentation is complete. Keep your readings. Then on bottling day, take another reading, and you'll be able to figure out with a little bit of math what your alcohol percent is. And this chloroclean, you'll use that in the beginning and in between. You want to make sure that everything that you use, the spoon, the hose, the pails, the carboy, everything is sterilized and clean. So this chloroclean is a food-grade powdered chlorine, and it has obviously a pink color to it. So once you make that mix, 2 tablespoons into 4 liters of water, it will have a pink tinge. You basically rinse all of your equipment. Make sure this mix that you make touches every surface that you're going to use in your brewing process, and then give it a really good rinse. Being chlorine, it will kill everything, including yeast. So you want to make sure that everything is sterilized and then rinsed really, really well so there's no residual chloroclean. So you do that before you start and after you use every piece of equipment. And then from there, you are going to make yourself some delicious beer, wine, or cider. If you have any questions, make sure to stop by Wine Kits in Varsity, 4624 Varsity Drive Northwest, or hit us on our website, winekitscalgary.com. Have yourself a great day.